everyone. My name is Amok Shakaraman. Today, me and my peers, Gagan, Mubina, and Ninja, are going to present our presentation on the Great Rate Roller Coaster 1980 to 2025. What if I told you that a decision made in a room in Frankfurt, Washington, or Tokyo by people you have never heard of about a number most people ignore could add 700 euros to your monthly rent or mortgage overnight? This is the story of world's eight most powerful central banks, 45 years of data, and how the biggest financial experiment in modern history ended with a shock that is still reshaping every household on the planet. Once upon a time in the early 1980s, borrowing money cost a fortune. The US Federal Reserve had pushed its rate to 19.1%, the highest in the entire dataset, in a desperate attempt to kill runaway inflation. The Bank of England sat above 15%, Canada and Australia all about 12%. For ordinary people, this meant one thing. If you needed a loan to buy a house or run a business, you paid through the nose of it. Over to you, Mubina.
But over the next 2 decades, those rates actually fell slowly, steadily, year after year. By the mid 2000s, central banks had settled into a world of 4 to 6%. Cheaper credit, rising house prices, people borrowing, spending, investing. Low rates became the expected normal, and an entire generation of homeowners built their financial lives around the assumption that they would stay the same way. Until one day, September 2018, Lehman Brothers collapsed and the global financial system nearly fell apart. Central banks panicked. Within months, rates were slashed to near zero across the Fed, the ECB, the Bank of England, the Bank of Canada, Australia. And here's the extraordinary part, they didn't stay low for a few months, they stayed near zero for a decade. The Bank of Japan went even further into a negative rates in 2016. Over to you, Gagan.
Because rates stayed near zero for so long, millions of people made decisions based on that reality. Take Sarah, a 32-year-old who bought a house in 2020 with a 300,000 euros variable rate mortgage. With the ECB rates near zero, her monthly repayment was 1050 euros, comfortable and manageable. Then COVID hit, rates went even lower, and then we'll see in a moment that everything changed. By the end of 2022, COVID ended, economies reopened, and inflation ignited faster than anyone predicted. Central banks did something the world hadn't seen for 40 years. They raised the rates hard and fast and also simultaneously. The US Fed Bank went from 0.5% to 5.5% in just 18 months. The ECB and the Bank of Europe also joined. And Sarah's mortgage repayment was raised from 1050 euros to 1750 euros, 700 euros more every month out of the same salary. Over to you, Insha.
And there are two sides to this. Meet Kieran. He kept 50,000 euros in saving through the 2010s with rates near zero. His bank paid him almost nothing, around €5 a year in interest. By 2023, with rates higher, that same 50,000 euros earned him over 1,000 a year. The rate cycle give and the rate cycle take it away, depending on where you sit. And then there's Japan. The Bank of Japan, that green flat line at the bottom of our chart, held rates at zero or below for over 25 years. Finally moving only in 2024, one bank marching to its own beat for decades. As of early 2025, rates have started to ease, but they remain for above the near zero world of the 2010s. So the era of free money appears to be over. For anyone with a mortgage, a saving accounts, or a business loan, understanding this cycle isn't just interesting. It is one of the most practical things that you can do with your money. Watch the rate, understand the wave, because the wave doesn't ask permission before it reaches you. Thank you so much for listening.